and welcome back to another video. My name is Amy and I'm super happy that you're here. I am a Christian book reviewer who enjoys reading secular books, but also sometimes gives her Christian perspectives on these books. If that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. Today, that was aggressive, I will be showing you some of the books that I purchased. I haven't purchased too many books this year, and I've been doing really well, if I do say so myself, with reading all of the books that I have purchased. I'm going through a whole process of trying to read my physical TBR, get under 100 books by the end of the year that I have unread on my shelves. It's going pretty good, I think. And now, because of these books, it's going pretty bad. I was kind of getting uninspired by my book choices. I just didn't really want to pick up anything, so that was a little depressing. I purchased some new stuff. Actually, all of it is secondhand. For me, it is new. I am very much an avid secondhand shopper, so all of this, I will let you know whether it's from Vinted or from a local thrift store. But let's get into it. So excited. First up, we have a book that both Lauren and Paris have been talking about incessantly, and I mean this so lovingly because they convinced me that I should pick it up immediately, and that is The Shadow of the Gods. When I saw that Lauren was reading a fantasy, but like an epic scale fantasy, I thought Paris did that. I have never spoken to Paris in my life. She seems like the sweetest woman. I knew Paris did it. And then Lauren read it together with her. I saw in one of the videos, she was talking about how she buddy read it. And I thought, I need me some of that. That sounds amazing. And then I heard her talking about a character, Orca, and about how I'm gonna guess yes, was one of Lauren's favorite characters from this year. And I said, say less, Lauren, calm down. Stop screaming at me. I'll buy it. And I did, and I found it on Vinted, and I could not be more excited. This is a Vikings-inspired epic fantasy. I believe it's a trilogy, packed with myth, magic, and bloody vengeance. The Shadow of the Gods begins an epic new fantasy saga from John Wynne, just genuinely from their recommendations and from the fact that I've heard a few other people talk about this, and they were all saying how amazing it is, how the world building is incredible, and that I'll get so invested in the characters. I said, yes, take my money, and I bought it. Next, we have a thriller. I actually haven't purchased a thriller in the longest time. If you purchase a thriller new, it's quite expensive, and then you read it once, usually, because you read it for the twist and for the thrills, and then you've just spent so much money for a one-time experience, which, is fine in itself, but I'm just not down with spending my money that way. But if I purchase it secondhand, it's not that bad. There we go. We have The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I read The Silent Patient from this author and The Maidens. He is a Greek author who oftentimes introduces Greek mythology into his books. I'm a big Greek mythology person. Jesus is king, don't get me wrong, but Greek mythology is just really interesting to me. So I quite enjoyed picking up his books. They're very fast-paced and very easy to read, and yet still enjoyable and interesting. This one follows Lana, who is a reclusive ex-movie star and one of the most famous women in the world. Every year, she invites her closest friends to escape the English weather and spend Easter on her idyllic private Greek island. The characters found themselves trapped there overnight. Friendships concealed hatred and desire for revenge. What followed was a game of cat and mouse, a battle of wits full of twists and turns, building to an unforgettable climax. The night ended in violence and death. That sounds interesting. I just like his settings usually, and like I said, the Greek mythology element is really interesting to me. I heard another YouTuber talk about this author quite a few times. There's a video, I will link it down below, that I watched from her. She made me so excited to pick up this author's books. I'm talking about Georgette Heyer, and I picked up Friday's Child. Previous to watching that video, I was actually seeing a lot of this author's books on this secondhand site that I was talking about. I looked her up. Her books are clean, but they're Regency romances, and I thought, let's give her a try, might be interesting. And then, like I said, I saw that video and it got me really excited, so I decided to pick up this one. It was genuinely so random. I didn't look into all of them and pick this one because it sounded the best. I just randomly picked this one. Rejected by Miss Melbourne, the incomparable for his unsteadiness of character, wild Lord Sheringham flies back to London in a rage, bent on avenging fate. Vowing to marry the first woman to cross his way, who should he see but a hero Wantage, the young and charmingly unsophisticated girl who has loved him since childhood. Is her name Hero? That's crazy. This sounds fun. Unrequited love, it's probably really big on yearning, but also marriage of convenience, maybe? Like I said, sounds like a good time. In case you didn't know, I am deeply, soulfully obsessed with Steinbeck. With my entire heart, like really deeply, concerningly so, I love East of Eden. I read a few of Steinbeck's other books and there's just something to his writing that speaks to me. It really does. So whenever I find a vintage or a bit of an older copy of his books, I need to buy it. So here I have Tortilla Flat, or Tortilla. I was thinking of the vine. More like Hurricane Tortilla. Horrifying stuff. I saw this and I decided to purchase it because it's Steinbeck and because I heard this is actually one of his best ones. No idea what it's about. Don't care when it comes to Steinbeck. It says, these tales of the ludicrous adventures of Bainsano? No idea. Danny and his friends are often named as Steinbeck's funniest. When Danny, much to his surprise, inherits 2 small houses in a tumble-down district of Monterey, his many carefree and dissolute friends crowd in, and with them a truly riotous life. Sounds like fun. Don't know why there are drunk men on the cover. Loved almost all of his books. Decided to have this. I have 2 other ones here that are kind of in a similar vein. I love the author. I will pick up anything from them. First, Agatha Christie. This one is They Do It With Mirrors. This is a Miss Marple mystery. I'm not sure which one this is. I will look it up and try to put it, I'm gonna say here. Okay, can you see it? It better be there. Editing Amy, do your job. I love Agatha Christie. I've loved basically all her books. They're so much fun. And I love Miss Marple. She's the cutest. They are, of course, murder mysteries, and they're always so fun. I love C.S. Lewis, and I have a box set from him. I still have 1 book to go, and then I've read all of my... Nope, that's not true. I have 1 book to go in the box set, and then 1 other book outside of the box set. Then I've read everything I own from him. But I love his vintage books, so like the older editions of his books. I don't really like the modern books, but you know, I will purchase the C.S. Lewis regardless of when it was published. And here we have the Screw Tape Letters. I've already read this, I have it in the box set, but look at this edition. I know this was from, gotta say, a long time ago, 1959. Isn't that crazy? Look at this edition. It looks new. It looks beautiful. Like I said, I've already read this. I love this book. This is about a senior demon instructing a junior demon on how to tempt humanity, how to tempt people. They are charged with 1 person that they have to bring into temptation. And it's so interesting to see. It really brings light how our spiritual life actually is and how much of a battle it is. This was really interesting, and I just love having this copy, so that's why I bought that one. Another one that I've already read as well is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I thought this book was beautiful. I listened to the audiobook that is narrated by Meryl Streep, who, of course, I think unsurprisingly does an incredible job. She shockingly is really good at being an actress. I don't know if you've heard this, but Meryl Streep is kind of good. I loved the book. It was so warm, it was so summery, so hopeful, so fun and entertaining. I just really enjoyed it, and it's one of those books that stirs up a deep sense of nostalgia in you, even if you haven't lived, of course, the same experiences that the characters in the book have. It's just, her writing is so good that you relive those hot summer days together with the main characters. So this follows a woman during COVID who has a cherry farm, and She is sequestered at the cherry farm together with her 3 daughters. They find out that their mother used to date a now very famous actor during a summer in their youth. And she starts telling the story. It's really beautiful, like I said, and it really captures the sweetness of adolescent love during the summer. Another thriller, I would say, that I'm actually uncertain whether I will enjoy or not, but when I saw it on the secondhand site, I thought, let's give it a go, and if I don't like it, I will resell it, and it's okay. Bright Young Women, one of the most punchy covers that I've seen. I do enjoy this color combo. I'm not saying I would wear it. It wouldn't look good on me, but it's still good. This follows the victims of a very famous serial killer. I think what most people have enjoyed about it is the changing of narrative, that it's no longer about romanticizing and celebrating the serial killer that has become famous from the horrible things that he has done, but it shifts the attention onto the victims and the lives that they led before becoming basically a sideline in the story of this horrifying man. It says that it is an extraordinary novel inspired by the real-life sorority targeted by America's first celebrity serial killer in his final murderous spree. I'm curious to see whether I will enjoy it or not. Sometimes these kind of books are they're kind of uncertain on whether I enjoy them. I do like feminist fiction, but sometimes I don't really like the conclusion or the lesson by the end of it, or what the moral story was by the end of the book. So I'm curious to see what I think of this one and whether I agree with the underlying tone, with the underlying message of the book. But I am excited to read this. Another thriller murder mystery, The Maid by Nina Prose. This one is very famous. Oh, it's Nita Prose. My apologies. I wasn't really certain before whether I wanted to pick it up, but I heard that there is very good representation for someone who's on the autism spectrum. Fun fact, if I could say that, my father is actually on the spectrum, so I thought this would be interesting to read. But not only that, I do enjoy a good murder mystery. This year, it's really been the year of me discovering how much I enjoy murder mysteries, so I'm curious to see what I think about this one. It follows Molly Gray, who works at the Regency Grand Hotel. When she enters Suite 401 and discovers an infamous guest dead in his bed, a very messy mystery begins to unfold, and Molly's at the heart of it, because if anyone can uncover the secrets beneath the surface, the fingerprints amongst the filth, it's the maid. Okay. A book that I actually did not know anything about before seeing it on the secondhand site is The Drowned Woods. I believe I've seen this cover before, but it didn't really interest me before that much. However, now I'm getting more and more into clean YA fantasy romance, and that's what this is. It says that once upon a time, the kingdoms of Wales were rife with magic and conflict, and Mar is well acquainted with both. For years, she has been running from the prince who bound her into his service and forced her to kill thousands with water magic. All Mare truly wants is a quiet life. She must decide if she's prepared to run for the rest of her life or to stand and fight for her freedom and peace. Part heist novel, part dark fairy tale, and rich with Welsh legends, The Drowned Woods is perfect for fans of Kristen Kishore and Maria Schneider. I don't actually know who those women are. What convinced me that I should pick it up is the Welsh-inspired story that it seeped in the legends of Wales. I recently went on like a half-day trip to Wales, but I've always been really fascinated by the country in itself and the lore of a lot of the fairy tales there. So when I saw that, I thought, this might be interesting for me to learn something new. Plus, it's YA, and it's fantasy, and it's romance. Yeah. The last book here is one that I picked up unvinted, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is on my top 100 list of books that I have to read in my lifetime. I have been interested in reading this for a very long time now. However, I never found it secondhand to purchase. Actually, whenever I looked for it new as well, it was very expensive. I am genuinely so excited to finally own this and to give it a go. You know, I read the back of this and I have to tell you, I have no idea what it means. Like, it means nothing. And I've heard so many people talk about this book, and every time I was listening to them, I thought, that means nothing. I don't understand what you're saying about the book. What is it actually about? People love the book, but no one knows what it's about. Like, no one could explain it in a way that made sense or that stuck in my mind. So I'm gonna leave it at that as well, and when I read the book, I will try to explain to you. All I know is that it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic climate dystopia. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And one of the more important elements of the book is that it's written in second person, which, aside from You by Caroline Kepnes, which is more like it's a stalker thriller, and there the use of second person is different to, I think, most uses of second person. Aside from that, I've never read a second person book, so I would be very curious to see how that works, especially in a fantasy setting, even just for literary value, learning more about the art of writing. I think this will be really helpful, and I will love dissecting it, genuinely. So very, very excited to own that. So happy that I finally found a copy on Vinted. So there you go. That is all of the books that I purchased for the past month or two. Not sure, it's been a little while. But if you've read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to talk about them, especially the ones that I haven't read yet. Let me know if you've enjoyed reading them and what your favorite part was about them. And I will be reading all of those comments, and maybe it'll get me hyped to pick up sooner rather than later. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I really love that you're here. Thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye!